The city of London boasts a wealth of culture and history. This is why it is such a heavily visited city, with over 17 million people flocking to London in 2014 alone. And, well, if you didn't know, this is the place to be for the FACEIT Major. But, of course, we're not quite there yet. We are still in the minors. We are still trying to figure out who from the Asian scene will be trucking on through to the next stage here and perhaps finding their way into the new challenger stage. My name is Trey Saranthus. You can call me Stunna, as well as my colleagues here to my right in Bleh and Sponge. Now, guys, we saw some, I don't want to say hideous Counter-Strike, but not necessarily the most attractive Counter-Strike we've seen today. But now, can we expect to move forward from that a little bit?
Maybe a 5 out of 10.
Okay.
Yeah. That's the level of Counter-Strike we saw. I think we can maybe get to a 7. I don't think we'll get past a 7
I'll
today.
be very happy with a 7.
If we get past a 7, I'll be excited. But do you know, if you bash your head against the wall for an hour, you burn 150 calories?
You also get brain damage and die.
Well, that's what this Counter-Strike could inflict if we don't move past a 5.
Well, I've seen something like that once, where the whole the wall and the head thing. But it's not really anything that has anything to do with this, nor is that person here. But Tyloo versus Tainted Minds has to be a much, much better game. Both these teams probably went back, we'll just say, to the locker room, so be it, and probably came to a better formula, better game plan. So, you know what, this was really sloppy, and perhaps we can do better.
I hope they went to the locker room and played the Al Pacino speech.
From which movie?
The one about, you know, if the football movie where they don't come together now, they're going to crumble.
Oh, I thought he was talking about Son of a Woman, where he's blind and he just hates on everything.
No, no.
I'm
like
bringing a flamethrower to this place.
No,
Remember that?
no, I'm talking about an uplifting one.
All right.
If we don't come together now.
Any Given Sunday?
Yeah, I think that's the one.
That's the one.
That's a great
yeah, I
flick.
have all the answers. I don't know how I do it, but someone out there must be looking out for me. So.
Well, I hope they're looking out for us now, because this deciding match right here will put one team straight through the playoffs, right? These are the two teams we expected to come through like this. It wasn't like yesterday where we got the surprise thing with the Japanese team of Scars and they actually took down Renegades in this matchup. From what we've seen today, this game could go either way, and it's not going to seem as a surprise or an upset. Obviously, Tyloo have more experience and they should be the better team, but we did know it was spoken about the communication issues,
right.
And Tainted Minds also look very sloppy in their approach to that game just then.
Well, let's just start it right here. We're going to start with Tyloo. That's where we're going to begin this discussion here, as they do go on to take Tainted Minds on in a best of one. Again, this does send one team on to the playoffs. This is perhaps the upper bracket final of the group.
Yeah.
And if we talk about Tyloo, they came out earlier 16-11 on Inferno. Wasn't the best of showing. But as I said, it's probably one of these things where they're going to come back more concentrated.
Yeah, they should be. But then we've been saying that for a while right now. Most of these teams, like, oh, they should be winning this easy. Oh, they should be performing better. But looking at this lineup, here's the thing. You know, with Captain Mo back, I would have expected to see a tighter ship here. I would have expected everything to be looking solid. But overall, again, we're not going to blame Captain Mo. It wasn't like, you know, his lack of fragging was a reason why it kind of was looking very rough there. But overall, just calms, like that one moment where he threw in 3 smokes to a CD spawn, for example. It's tiny little things. For a team that's gone for some pretty deep runs in certain tournaments recently against Tier 1 opposition, you do not expect to see that ever.
I'm going to let them off the hook a little bit about the 3 smokes, considering how late it was in the game. If that happened much earlier and they had like more of a post-plant scenario going down, then sure, I can see that. But I think they probably should have memed a bit more in this video. They could have all been like pushing Captain Mo in the wheelchair or like riding with him and down the street, and he crashes into... Anyway, that's why he's missing. There's only 4 guys standing right there, but he is in the middle of your screen. And look, he has been out, and AE was stepping in and being the AWP player, or the secondary AWP player for this squad, along with Xcurate, who is the Indonesian AWP player, who's linked up with his mate Ben Tet, who is the best player, I would say, within the Asian region. I'm not including Australia in that, because obviously JKS would be the best player.
Yeah, and you're not active anymore, so technically the best player is now. You got to pass the torch on.
That's true.
It's time.
You got to give it to your homeboy, right?
Yeah, yeah. So these guys here are a pretty exciting team in their approach to the game, and they are slowly becoming more fundamentally sound. And I don't want to say mainstream in their approach, but their mid-round decision-making, all that kind of stuff is getting up to par with other teams in the world. They still have a little bit of flair, a little bit of a unique approach. Not everything is done as flush as it possibly could be, but I think that the exciting thing is when you do have a star like Bentet who can turn a game around on his head with his playstyle, they are always a team to look out for.
Yeah, and also the thing with Tyloo is, not to sound like a negative Nancy, but I've always felt like they're going to be plateauing at one point or the other, right? Like, they're a team whose comms have still not been sorted out unless they kind of discover, you know, like telepathy or some shit like that.
We can work that out.
You know?
Telepathy. Yeah, I think they teach that around here somewhere. Maybe
Hogwarts
down the street.
Hogwarts.
And this has absolutely nothing to do with Hogwarts, so perhaps we move on. We could talk a little bit about just the kick to the Tainted Minds earlier, that was. I mean, it wasn't necessarily the best of showing from them in this previous match, but let's try to shift the focus now to Tainted Minds.
I kind of felt like that that game was a representation of their logo, where the brains are basically leaking out.
Yeah. Well, that did happen in a lot of scenarios there, I think, but Mrs. Anna Potter, which is Inz's mother, will be at home cheering on Twitter right now watching this game, that's for sure, as he put in a bit of a stellar performance. But I think some interesting decision-making was the reason that game was potentially so close, as well as Unique Stars putting in a better performance than I think Tainted Minds would have been expecting, definitely more so than what I was expecting. These guys here, if we want to get in a talk about Australian Counter-Strike, a lot of stars are spread out between quite a few teams, but Tainted Minds has the pedigree and the experience in the likes of Yam, Zuzi, and Ofnu, with two players who have a lot of fragging potential in Burn, Are You OK, who is an entry fragger, and Inz, who is more of an all-round player.
I love that name.
And let's not get it confused with the Inz of old now. The Inz of old played for Fnatic, Nip,
and wore a funny hat.
Yeah, wore the Peaky Blinders red hat. By order of the Peaky Blinders. But anyway, that's totally different Inz.
I think this is also kind of like a revenge match, if I'm not mistaken, between
DreamHack Masters,
the Asian qualifier, where Tainted Minds took map 1, and they were just about to close it out, and they kind of choked.
I think it was a 3-mapper.
Inferno, they were on map point.
And Cache, if I remember
right.
right.
That was Inferno.
Yeah,
and they kind of.
I remember that. It was heartbreaking.
It was heartbreaking, right? So they kind of have a bone to pick with Tyloo. So yeah, it should be a good game. It should be a fun match.
Should be, but if there is a stumble on the side of Tainted Minds on their CT side from the beginning, this is a team that could potentially punish them for that, rather than before, in the last match.
They got away with a bit more.
Yeah, we saw them be able to kind of come back from it. Yes, things are popping off around here,
It's getting rowdy. Yeah, I think because both teams made so many mistakes, the door is wide open to see who's going to tighten up their bootlace a little bit quicker, right? So if we come out and both teams are still having those issues, obviously Tyloo's is more from a communication standpoint, and I would say Tainted Minds could be more from an experience or
a composure standpoint.
Yeah, maybe they weren't expecting that to kick off the day. But as I was walking out of the green room where we were watching, I made comment to the coach of Tainted Minds, Ferg, and I was like, mate, and he got sloppiest game in Counter-Strike. So he's even aware that they've been struggling here, but there has to be players stepping up, Trace.
Let's talk about players stepping up. We got a head-to-head comparison right now. We've got Inz. We've got Captain Mo. In which case, I think between these two players, obviously Mo not having the strongest of starts in this past game, but there is an asterisk there, as there always is an asterisk with these things. There's always some sort of lining. It might not be silver, but there's some sort of lining.
Also, the thing is, like with Captain Mo, for those of you who don't know, he's been actually, he's not walking around. He's being wheeled along in a wheelchair. He's walking with his crutches. So, hey, credit to the guy, man. The guy's willing to play for his team. It means that much, right? I'm going to give him that. If you look at the stats, that's quite a number of games if it's the last 3 months for Captain Mo, because I think he was out of action for at least a month or so.
Yeah,
that's pretty nuts.
He has had some time off, but within that region, they do play a lot of matches.
Yes,
right?
they do.
The same with Australia. We have like a lot of different online leagues going on at all times.
Yeah.
And, weirdly enough, there's been like a period in the last 6 months to a year, I suppose, where Australian teams have been going overseas in droves because of so many tournaments throughout Asia. So they're getting a lot more experience, these guys from down under. And going up against Tyloo, though, once again, and Captain Mo there is one of the more experienced players. So he's been doing this on this level for the longest period of time, probably out of everybody here.
It's been quite some time. But again, we're going back to the best of one here. We're going to start seeing the vetoes flying out at a furious pace as we prepare for Tyloo versus Tainted Minds. Nuke will be the first ban over there for Tyloo. And I guess I should just go ahead and ask you guys where we think this one's going to land.
I think they're going to be just going for very safe bans here. Like, Tyloo going for the nuke ban, the train ban by Tainted Minds. These are the usual perma first map bans. I actually think it might go to a cache.
It's going to be Inferno or Mirage.
Can we go 3 for 3?
You'd be dumb to play Tyloo on
Mirage. Yeah, you would be.
Yeah,
it's going to be Inferno or Mirage.
Are we calling Tainted Minds dumb?
We're not calling them anything right now.
Inferno's
out.
See ya.
Well, maybe they realized the mistakes they're making just there. I don't think that Tyloo did anything hugely impressive in that game to be too worried about. But maybe based off of that, the reminiscing on that game they lost for the DreamHack qualifier, they think things fell apart. So it's going to be between Dust 2 and Mirage. Now, the last decision will be with Tainted Minds, and this is if they
put in Dust 2.
Yeah, so the thing is, Dust 2, I don't think they would have practiced a lot, right?
No one. Yeah.
Either team, I think, will have been not very proficient on this map. So it's as it comes in, once again, the carrier pigeon landing in Whooping Mirage. I told you, man!
Oh, no.
I told you, here's the reason that I can see this pick from Tainted Minds.
All right.
You have a lot to go off in the way that Tyloo play this map. You can counter-strat the hell out of them, you can look at all the tendencies of the players, and you can early, if you start on the T side, and you know how they're playing on the CT side, you can kill them in a couple of the positions that they're holding and make them feel uneasy, and from there maybe they'll feel the need to change their game plan and snowball the momentum from that point.
That's a lot to work through in a best of one, and also this is what worries me, right? I completely agree with you on that. That's something, since Tyloo plays this map a lot, you can, there's a lot to work off from, you can kind of get a read on it, the tendencies and yada yada yada. But Tainted Minds don't really play this map that often, right? So no matter how much theory crafting you do, no matter how much you understand, you still got to have your fundamentals on the map. I'm not talking about running a strategy, but I'm talking about, you know, just how you hold those angles, how you communicate, those small little things on the CT side especially. And if they don't play it that often, which they don't, it's kind of like the second ban most of the times, or third ban or whatnot, they're not that well drilled on this map to really pull off what they might be having in mind. So that could be a problem.
All right, count of three. Both of you say who you think is going to win. 1, 2, 3.
Tainted Minds.
Okay, well, I think Tyloo takes this one. But anyway, that doesn't matter what I have to say. What does matter is the commentary duo known as Jan, who are sitting idly by and ready to bring you this action. Take it away, Jan.
Jan. And he also called us, we're sitting idly by. Not idle, we're ready to go.
What kind of a name is Jan? It's not a sexy name.
It's not a what?
Sexy name.
Sexy name.
Because he's making like a... Actually, let's just not continue.
Oh, I see what he's doing.
You know,
see,
like
that even just went over my head.
Like a Brangelina. I don't know how I feel about this.
That's not very good, is it? We don't need any weird cutesy name.
Yeah, no, that's true. We don't
need that.
That's not our thing. We're just James and Dan, Dan and James, James and Dan.
Tainted
Minds will be starting on the, on the CT side. Offnu will have double flash and a kit. And Tyloo, it seems, will be very fast into the A side. To say very fast, they are walking. It's a quiet stroll, in fact, but they are there in the numbers. It's 5-man on road and ins. It's a retake situation here for Tainted Minds.
Yep, it's going to be a rough one. Losing a player early on, actually, that is not going to be too good. Tyloo opting not to go for CT pressure, but they'll hold on to window and jungle instead. And Captain Mo looking to try to hold this position, still doing some good damage. 2 headshots quickly found. Offnu will rotate around the back. And a 2v4 now for Tainted Minds. Not looking too good, just too many man.
That's a great pistol round from Tyloo. It was a simple but a very effective pistol round. Throw the smoke grenade for the connector position, push the jungle area, plant the bomb for short, and don't worry about pushing CT, although they did win a duel with the one player who was there as well. And once you take that jungle position, the CTs, it's very difficult for them to split the site. They can't go through the crawl space. You saw they tried to go through the balcony and the ladder position, but they were unable to do that. Tyloo in better positions, and won the duels. There was a player, I think it was UC, he was heavily tagged already in the ladder position. But that's a nice pistol round. It was a well executed idea of what they wanted to do. Very simple. Pick it up at home. Everybody knows the connectors. Well, actually, they don't. Never mind. But learn some grenades on Mirage.
What is this 66 esports thing going on? Where's everyone? 66 esports.
Oh, I guess it's maybe a sponsor or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
That wasn't their last game, was it?
No, it wasn't.
It's interesting.
Yeah. That is interesting.
I'll ask a question about this.
Okay, so it's just... I mean, there could be some problems. Well, not problems, but could be some extra damage here for the Deagle that is in play. Vince can't find a shot, and he will get gunned down. It's hard to see which way this one will go, to be honest. Tainted Minds... Well, I think that, you know, Oceanic Counter-Strike, you know, Mirage was... I recall, well, it was a while ago that we watched it all the time, but I recall that Mirage was, you know, somewhat of a comfortable map. And one thing that we haven't seen from some of the Asian teams is a lot of sort of mid-play. And
there's some mid-play.
Tainted Minds have been playing more of a European style of Counter-Strike so far, so that might be an interesting stylistic clash. And bomb will go down. Should be fine now here for Tyloo. Not taking some additional damage once again, but... Ooh, that was close. Offnu, can you get one more? No. Denied. that he's shooting each other. Oh, man. Right, the nonsense is over. We get we could have almost seen double orbs. Bernard Yoke had $6K, but only one orb. It's on Yam. Yam and Fam.
And the Famalam.
Famalam. That's what I was looking for. I was looking for the Famalam.
All right, then let's see what this Tainted Minds setup is. Offnu and Ins in the connector position. It seems they are expectant of some mid play and they want to do something about it. Nobody in A to flash the plays into mid from that connector area, so we'll see how long they can stand here for. Of course, you wouldn't expect people to necessarily charge into the A site from A unless it was a full-on execute, but there are a number of players here in the connector for Tyloo. There's a gap in the smoke, and now the bomb is in a very exposed position. And now here comes a push from the CT. Not quite working out for them, though. Somebody with 2 frags. And whatever the plan was for Tainted Minds, it's not quite working out for them. Burn has to deliver here. The last man for his team. He's very low on HP. The bomb is still in mid, though, and the T's are charging through that smoke to finish off the job. 4-0 for Tyloo.
So another save here for Tainted Minds. They can spend more money this round because they will have max loss bonus next round, so they can actually go down to $1,500. Will probably be the minimum. And, you know, they'd still be able to have a good amount of money, like $4,900 in the following round. So we'll be more conservative than that, which is cool. And they're going to spot, Captain Mo's going to spot the drop down into underpass. So the game's been given away for Mr. Offnu, and his head will also be taken away. And it is a simple affair here for Tyloo, cleaning up these remaining Tainted Minds players.
That's a great start for Tyloo.
It is.
That's a fantastic start.
It is rather lovely.
Ins 0 and 5.
0 and 5.
Everybody else has at least 1 kill, but some only have 1 kill. Excuse me.
You have asthma, James.
I have asthma, yes. I left my steroid pump at home, so I'm not getting my Hulk Hogan on. 2 players at the beginning of the round for Tyloo towards the A site would normally suggest that that will ultimately be where their intentions lie. But the bomb is at the entrance to B app, so we'll see. Maybe it's their safe place choice to put it. Burn taken out in, well, very, very early on in this round. Yeah. Tainted Minds are, they seem to be at the mercy of Tyloo at the moment. Oh, by the way, I mean, it's kind of cheap for me to say it now, but I kind of fancied Tyloo for this one. I have like a question mark on what kind of form Captain Mo is in based on the previous map, and that he has a leg injury.
Leg in his neck?
Yeah, that too. So we'll see how it pays off, but I was leaning towards Tyloo. Now I'm leaning more towards them.
Yeah, it's a good initial pick from Excurate, and I hope that we get to see more out of him and more comfort in general for Tyloo this map. And it is definitely a map where we can see that individual skill that they have perhaps be leveraged more consistently than on a map with all the closed spaces of Inferno. Now the last dish attempt here, Offnu. I mean, just going to get absolutely murdered through that box. No way he can survive. Too many... Oh, hello. Hello. That just runs straight into the only spot the Yam can see. And just crouches. Just so let me plant the bomb over here. Yam will survive for a time. Presumably he should be able to hold on to this. I don't think that they can really get a kill on him. There is a backstab potentially coming. I'm not sure if is Diddy going in the palms. Yes, he is. Okay, so that might actually enable the potential to take down Yam, which would be important because the max loss bonus is there for Tainted Minds. They have a little bit of extra money in the bank here, so will they buy next round? Ins will have 4K, just like 4100s.
They might because they have the sniper.
Yeah, if he keeps the orb, there is an argument to do it.
But otherwise they probably wouldn't because it wouldn't be perfect. But the thing is, they could buy with an AWP in the following round anyway.
Rip, never mind.
Yeah.
Never mind.
Decisions have been made. Yeah, I mean, it's a weird one, isn't it? Because regardless, you have an AWP. Well, not regardless. If you don't buy, you have an AWP in the next round. So is your buy going to be enough otherwise when you can eco and have the full buy? That's a question to be answered per individual, I think, per team.
Ponderized. Should be ponderized.
Right then, 6-0 for Tyloo. They're on the fast train at the moment. The ticket inspectors of Tainted Miners trying to catch up at the moment. 4 CZs and a Deagle. Again, max loss bonus does allow you to take more liberties in your eco rounds with your weaponry and utility. And off goes Captain Mo. He's 10 for 0 at the moment. Worth noting after the go missing somewhat in the on Inferno. So he's here to play. 1, 2, 4 smokes down around the mid and connector position. But 3 of those, sorry, Tyloo still have 3 smokes, and they are positioning themselves to split the B bomb site. They need to obscure vision around connector so they don't get shot moving up that short area. There is a smoke grenade, and now perhaps a pop flash into the ladder position from Excurate, who will be the last man on mid with the bomb. There's the flash, there's the kill. Marvelous stuff, meticulous from Tyloo. Off we go.
Yeah, this looks a lot better. A lot better. We'll see a couple kills here and the potential to steal away weapons. I think you just got to get out of there now with those guns. Get out of there. Oh, I mean, they can obviously fall by next round, but it's really nice to have an AK.
Was it yesterday we saw another team playing on Mirage who was splitting the B-bomb
site? And all died around short because no one checked it or something. Or they checked it wrong.
Do you remember what team it was?
No, I was just trying to think about it. Well, it was the other group, so...
Well, whoever it was, I mean, they're not playing today, so they can watch this and see how it's done properly. I was somewhat concerned that the last man in mid had the bomb, because if something weird happened, then that would have been an issue for Tyloo. But beyond that, it was very well done. So just copy everything they did if you can't do it properly yourself.
Copy pasta. I think it was the second best of 1, but I can't for the life of me remember who played.
Never mind.
Yeah, memory game not on point. Oh, that is... Somebody's lucky to be alive, and he's got grenades, which he's deploying some of, and it always sucks when you die before being able to deploy nades. That's a lot of... Oh, was that supposed to go there?
There's a deployed nade.
I don't know that that was supposed to go there.
I highly doubt it. I imagine it was supposed to go near the windows, so they can't see, the CTs can't see if the Ts are close to the balcony or not.
Yeah. It's quite cool as well, like throwing obviously not in that situation, but it can be cool to throw the smoke towards the end of the B plateau as well, because that changes the position of where that CT who usually stands around there, where they can stand, and it usually forces them into the site and sets you up for a pick potentially. Anyways.
Okay, this is weird because the entire Tyloo team are in mid. You can see the CTs are waiting for a player to jump into the window. They have an off angle on the short, but they have nobody actually watching the mid position. And now Tyloo are swarming, but there is time pressure here. Oh, Int gets absolutely wrecked. Are there any smokes? Where do they plant the bomb? Tyloo, that's going to be a problem. Yam is still, never mind. Everybody's losing their jewels. Wow. What a massacre.
Captain Mo's pick onto Shadow was really, really huge. He's actually not died yet. He's 14 for 0. So that's really good to see. But that was such an important pick because it doesn't look like much, but the fact that he gets that kill, there's like what? I think there was 25 seconds on the clock, and if he loses that battle, then the Shadow player they're going to create sort of a position where his teammates can start to help him and create crossfires, and it just creates enough of a delay. But getting rid of him straight away, the team can just get onto the site and Tyloo win the numbers game. They are crushing Tainted Minds right now. They're having a great time, and it's really cool as well because one of the things that can suck sometimes when you watch Tyloo play is if you see these individuals who are so individually skilled not getting into positions where they can really show you that.
Hello.
And here we're seeing that they are getting into those spots.
Looks like Tyloo have righted their ship, or at least they're looking good on Inferno. Perhaps form is partly relative to the map. Well, I'm sure it is. 1 minute 20 on the clock. Tyloo have 4 more targets, and they're moving away from the A site. I do wonder if Zusi's got some sound cues, but hold on, someone's still there. Does he start to second guess himself? Maybe They somehow realised I'm here or something along those lines. A push in the middle position. Now, Tyloo do not need to wait around there. Doesn't seem like they had intentions to go towards the mid position. Somebody double-checking Yam. Yam unlucky not to get a kill there. Now, what can Burn really do? He's been spotted in the short pillar position. And down he goes as well. 2 CZs remain, and Captain Mo has is well positioned to contain all of B apartments. No flanks will be allowed for Tainted Minds, who into 0-9, as you see, is 1 for 9. They are losing these duels to the AKs hard.
Captain Mo is 15 for 0. El Capitan. And the money is out of control. Captain Mo is going to go alone into the B apartments. The B apartments, the A apartments, the palace area. Good nades. That's going to do a bit of damage to execute. A chunky amount of damage.
A bit of damage.
But not the full damage. Just a
bit.
Little chunk.
Just a little bit.
I should say, instead of saying a bit of, I should say a chunk of now.
Yeah, a chunk of damage is good, yeah.
A chunk of aggression there.
Chunks, he's taking chunks.
He's
in London slang, you might say he's taking licks.
So we're going to get the creep into connector again from Tyloo. They did this before, but the difference here is Tainted Minds have 2 players in the pit position. And obviously that's really easy to deal with if you have a smoke grenade. And are they rotating all the way to mid? Because a bomb site is about to be under heavy fire here. Captain Mo is still in the palace position. He's about to get flanked. I don't think that he realizes, will he go out of the position or is he going to get backstabbed? Yam's in trouble. That's really critical because I think that Captain Mo is going to concede this position soon. Oh, he's going to turn around. Oh, he wins the fight. I do not believe that. How do you even anticipate someone attacking you from there? And that was a 4 versus 2. Tyloo looking like they're going to hold on to this once again. Tainted Minds, they cannot win their fights at the moment. Except that one. And that one.
Well, it's on now. 2 versus 2. Molotov towards the palace position. And Bentet will deliver the first kill. Burn having a look-see. He could... Well, Bentet is crouching, which is really important. The other way to look over those boxes is from the bench position. And Mo he's unkillable. He is the Terminator. He is 17 for 0.
He's got 1 assist as well.
Inns is on the board, though. He's got 1 kill now. But, yeah, man. That Dragon is chopping, he's biting some heads off. At present, Tainted Minds can no longer afford to eco, really. Ironically. No more helmets for the Tainted Minds side. Not that they are relevant anyway.
Oh, no.
Oh,
No.
He's gone, he's gone.
What? He should be playing. He should be at the back.
I don't know. I don't know if a player has gone a game of Mirage without dying once, but the question was starting to rise. But no, he's gone.
He is. He died for the cause. I mean, it's a worthy death. They got 3 kills out of it, and
they just can't win the duels, man.
They're going to win the rounds. I mean, this is one of the dangerous things about Tyloo, though, is that they're really they're very strong individually. So, again, unlike Inferno's a map where you can kind of deny that because you need to use utility to get around corners. There's less open spaces. But this is more similar to a Cache or a Dust 2. Well, if you want an aim battle, you can create those spots. So you can go for those A attacks. You can play those contact plays into mid or into one of the bomb sites. You can get those players far enough. And Tainted Minds, I mean, the first danger was not Mo being immortal. Now the next danger is not losing 16-0 because Tyloo, they've not really been all that close to losing rounds.
Asian AKs. Hashtag Asian Persuasion. Causing giant problems into the FAMAS. Mo's died again. Crikey, what's going on? Where does the bomb get planted? Out in the open. A boost over the bins, perhaps. I remember there was one Glastonbury with people climbing over the toilets to get in. Kind of reminds me of that for some reason. Inns and UC 2 versus 4. Bentet's still top mid at the moment. Somebody in the jungle position. He should hear Inns running in CT spawn, but there's a smoke down now. Well, Excurate has a question. Does he want to potentially risk the AWP? He does, and he'll win a duel, of course.
Excurate, man. He wins.
That leaves Inns It's kind of weird for FACEIT because he has to run away from the bomb at that point. Ooh. That's a nice one. Nice. Maybe they'll take an AWP.
Look at the money.
He's got nothing to lose by going for it.
The money is just unreal.
It's out of control.
3 players were basically on 16k. Well, 2 were on 16k. And Captain Mo is 15k. Oh my days. It's like it's like going to deathmatch for them right now. Just have whatever you want, do whatever you want. So, Yam.
Is it deathmatch or
on that?
is it aimbots?
Or pipe. Pipe. Quick flash there. FACEIT looking for the pick though on the B apartments. He's been successful in the past. He is very good. He's very quick. His dab hand with that AWP. Oh my days! He is completely exposed.
He got drilled.
He did, yeah.
You saw on the X-ray where Burn is right now. All those positions. If you are a T and you bounce a flash out the window off the wall, it compromises all these positions where a sniper might be standing or a rifler, and you can throw it without facing them. So if you're a lurker towards B bomb site, it's a good flashbang to know, because it will force. If you've got like a good sniper in that position, it will just force them off their angle. And then if they jump off the box, maybe you can shoot them in the jump on the box. You can shoot them in the face while they're in the air, and away you go.
Tainted with the AWP. Perhaps he's looking to go tete-a-tete with Yam. Do you like that, James? It means head-to-head in French.
I know what it means in French. Okay. I'm just surprised. I was just shocked that you know some words in French. Creeping through the smoke into sandwiches off new. Took a gamble on his own, didn't work out. Now it's 4-on-4. Now, in a number of rounds, Tyloo have been planting the bomb after the smoke's disappeared, which has impressed me because they've been successful pretty much every single time. This time they do it early. Tainted is exposed though. Where's the trade fragger? 2 versus 3 now as UC backs off.
Uh-oh. Down to somebody, 1v3. Maybe this is the round. Looking like it. Gonna wrap around. He's facing 3 players at once. So that's not a recipe for success. It's a recipe for something disgusting. And that will be the first round on the board for Tainted Minds. They have a long road to go and to travel on, but I guess that's a start. Nice from Zuzi. I think he must have had the scoping. And I think to be honest, I did think that it was quite ambitious from FACEIT, sort of just scoping up by the window there, but standing near the flames. And strangely enough, 2 players starting to get low money here for Tyloo, but not many rounds left. Mid-aggression coming in from Tainted Minds. This is dangerous business. But it's working out. 1 for 1. I think Tyloo will be quite happy with that.
Not been many rounds where Tainted Minds have got an early frag. 4-on-4. But we'll see how capable Tyloo are with 4 players versus 5 players. Versus when Tyloo have 5 players, that is. To be clear. DD's got the bomb. He's in the underpass position. And you can see there is a player in Connector. He goes by the name of Ofdu. Everything goes quiet now. Tyloo static, patient. There have been pushes in the past. Yam gets a nice shot onto Tainted. He's got control of the B area. That will press DD towards Connector. There's no pop flash for him, just a raw peek. FACEIT could have flashed from the top of mid. Perhaps it will be a double peek from these 2.
It's going to work out, although Ofnu has something to say about that. They were able to move about 3 inches forwards before getting shut down by Tainted Minds, who are, at the end of this half, finding some semblance of success, picking up a couple rounds. Well, they get the last one. Tyloo with another full buy. Tyloo with full buys throughout this entire half. Must be nice. Or back on, well, staying with Yam, of course. Ooh, might just be a quick set piece. They want to end this T side of theirs, Tyloo, in an explosive fashion. They want to send all the arrows into the sky. All the nades.
Tainted Minds will fight in the shade. So you see moving towards the short position. come the smokes. Will Often play retake with his team, or is he going in again? Tyloo still in the choke point for the time being. One player throws the bomb to another, but they're running out of time. Ooh, and it seems their slow approach will pay off for them because the CTs are charging into the site, but the AKs are out for Tyloo. They are ready for this. Oh, that's a great shot from Yam. Flashbangs galore. 2 versus 3.
Oh!
Okay.
Okay, he's doing it.
Okay, Yam, let's go. In the meantime, Burn is quietly rotating towards CT. Oh, that's perfect timing from Burn. A flashbang from Yam. And there are big problems here for Tyloo. Yam with nowhere to hide. There's plenty of time here. And Xcurit's got the AWP, and he's good for it. 13-2 for Tyloo.
What a half. Mo, 20 kills, 5 deaths. Didn't have a death, I think, for the first 10 rounds or so as well. So really, really good performance from them. You know, Tyloo got that good start, and they just played pretty effectively, you know, from that point forwards. They made some good calls. Obviously, when you get a good start, and you have the control of the money, it's pretty easy to predict what the CTs will have. So the whole calling situation is so ideal for the IGL. And they really did it very well. And now it's down to Tainted Minds to find success on this pistol. All going out Palace. They've got a bunch of nades. No smokes, but a Molotov and flashbacks. And that's an open A bomb site. And, you know, it's a retake from Tyloo. Let's see if they can make it work.
Ooh, that's a tight shot from Mo. And he has a smoke and a defuse kit. Let's see if the CTs can get into position. Burn and his teammate have got control of CT. So another nice pistol round, but a difference here. They've got the pop flashes as well to allow for the peak. That's going to slow Tyloo down. Captain Mo still has his smoke grenade. Maybe putting it on the bomb now. Is he going to go in for the defuse? He's being picked off immediately, but the defuse kit is on the bomb. Somebody's not, he's facing at the same time. And there should be the round. There we go. DD had the kit, and he'll get on the bomb. And that is worst case scenario. Well, not worst case, because the bomb was planted for Tainted Minds. Do they choose to force? Or will they play against 2 for 15? Tough spot for them. It was looking pretty good there. They had 2 players in CT. They had a flash from the site from a player to engage. So we saw I think we saw 2 nice pistol round setups there. Tainted Minds did not have all the success, so both pistols have gone to Tyloo. And of course it is the force buy for Tainted Minds.
Yeah, I do like that Tainted Minds just created a round where they guaranteed the plant. I think that's really cool. And it allows them to do this. Force buy with nades, pretty strong sometimes, but the counter grenades are good from Tyloo. They are more than ready to defend against this push. They have been shut out. They've expended a lot of their grenades. They've expended 2 players, and they haven't got what they wanted, and they have lost the bomb in the process as well. So if we take into account all of those things, this is not good. This is far from good. It is what some may call catastrophic.
Your powers of observation continue to serve you well.
Yes. No bomb plant here is really sad, I think, for Tainted Minds. I think that was, you know, what they were, again, trying to at least guarantee a bomb plant and some damage.
Somebody up close with the M4 with a weird angle, and he'll lose to the CZ. I don't know why he's that close with an M4 against a force buy when you have the bomb in B-apps. And he died.
He died.
But it is 15-2.
That it is.
So let's see if Tyloo can close it out in this round. Yam with the scout. And rest on the pistols. Right then. Counter flashes. Looks like Tainted Minds wanted to burst up top mid. But they were all counter flashed. Pentet moving into apartments on the balcony with a deep smoke. And there's a Molotov, but they can look over it now. And again, Tyloo with a double smoke grenade in the connector position. Well, 2 is better than 3 on this occasion. Right then, hello.
Oh.
Xcurit has had enough, but only good for 1 frag. And did he want to finish things off? Can't quite do it just yet. The scout of Yam needs to collect the bomb. We see there is a CT in the underpass, and maybe Bentet wants to rotate back towards BAPS perhaps, because otherwise they've got no idea what's going on in BAPS, and Yam has a scout, but Yam is now in BAPS and Bentet's moving up top mid, so now Yam, they've got no eyes towards B whatsoever, they've got no eyes towards T spawn. So he may plant the bomb, but there are no weapons in B, so it will be a scout versus 2 M4s.
It's doable. He's got Blood in the Water scout as well, so he's got the right skin for the job.
Absolutely. Approve this. I endorse this.
And the other thing too is that because of the positioning of the CTs, if Yam plays it smart and he does account for this apartments push, which is kind of likely, you know, there's a possibility he can catch somebody walking when he takes the first shot, which means that he's more likely to find a spot where he can get a headshot. Then he's in a 1v1 with the scout. And the scout actually can be really good in those spots. So let's see if Yam can find a way. He's unfortunately looking at the only spot they're not coming from. Here's the sound cues of shots, but the player on the apartments will jump out in the perfect moment. And that will be the round and the game. Tyloo, just from the start to finish, incredibly dominant. And that's encouraging to see after the Inferno they had earlier, which was a little bit wonky.
Yes, Tainted Minds absolutely deleted on Mirage. Captain Mo finishes 21 for 6. A huge performance from him. Very lopsided game of Counter-Strike, but Tyloo looking extremely comfortable on Mirage. It looks pretty good from the pistol onwards and pretty much stayed that way for the whole match.
Yeah, not too much to say about this one, really. I mean, Tainted Minds can never really get going. Tyloo were able to leverage that individual skill on their individuals and just play sort of loose, fast Counter-Strike. It was definitely, that looked like Tyloo's game plan just played out, and they got to play a game plan, whereas Inferno was all over the place. So I'm glad we saw that.
Over to Parla with Tyloo.
Oh, hello everybody. Sorry, I was just collecting Mo's stuff, so he's all right to get up. Hansel, congratulations again on your second win here at the Minor. You were going up against Tainted Minds, and it was a very, very strong performance from you and the boys.
Yeah, we just had a really slow start at Inferno, and we just had the team talk like, guys, let's focus, let's do what we do in practice, just hype each other, hype from the beginning, so we have a good start and good result. Yeah.
On Mirage here, compared to your first map of the tournament, it seemed like the communication was better in this instance. Some of your executes were pitch perfect, and overall you guys looked like you were working very well together as a team.
Yeah, I guess in Mirage, everyone more understand each other and understand each other roles. Like, for the Chinese guy, I understand what I'm doing and Kevin doing. Also, for my perspective, I understand what they're doing. And yeah, I think in Mirage our connection is more,
Yeah, you have a better connection on this map.
Connection, yes.
Okay, cool. And Bentet, Chad Sponge on the desk wanted me to ask you, out of the near 4.5 billion people across Asia, how does it feel to be the very best Counter-Strike player out of all of them? Would you agree or disagree, firstly?
I don't know.
Okay, but nonetheless, you are an extremely strong player, and to be doing so well within your region and representing your country, how does that feel?
Feels really good, but doesn't mean it ends here, it stops here. Like we already achieved so far, doesn't mean we just proud and let's not practice, not like that. We just keep improving because our goal is qualify to the major, to the top 8, and to the top 10 teams in the world.
Very humble guy, Hansel. And how has it been to have Captain Mo back in the mix since he's recovered, well, almost from his injury?
Yeah, we feel really happy for him, even though he cannot walk properly. He just managed to come here and want to play with us because it's Minor, the most important tournament. We need to use our main role. Our main squad. So I just feel very happy, and he showed up this match.
He did indeed. And overall then, after you've had your first 2 best of ones here, and in general, Hansel, what can you tell me about the team's current form and what you're expecting to achieve at this Minor?
I think our current form, we struggle a little bit when we start off first match of the tournament. Sometimes we struggle, and we keep working on that. Our mistake, of course, in communication. So we need to keep improving, understand each other, not only Mirage. We need to fix all maps, so we have a good map pool. It makes our team more stronger, and our target this minor is to become the champion.
Okay, so not just qualify from one of those 2 spots, but to be the #1s here.
Yes, because we never win.
All right, and final question then, who would you say your toughest competition is? And out of the other teams here, if you guys do qualify, who are your toughest opponents?
I think Renegades, of course, because the last 2 minor we faced them in the final and upper final. So it's going to be Renegades.
All right, well, Hansel, congratulations once again, and to the rest of your team. A fantastic matchup there, Tyloo, really stamping their dominance on Mirage. Trace, over to you.
Thank you very much, Paula. And, you know, quite frankly, that was an absolute bloodbath. But it was a 16-2 showing here. Tyloo toppling Tainted Minds and sending them, well, on their way, I suppose.
Into the lower bracket.
One on their way, one might say. But, yes, I understand that completely. Now, with that being said, Tyloo now will go on to play Renegades later. But for all intents and purposes, this T-side showing was, again, I'll ask, more indicative to the play of Tyloo, or was just Tainted Minds just tainted?
I think I think they were very tainted, right? Like Chad pointed out earlier that when they picked Mirage, it probably would be have done your homework.
Well, you'd hope so.
We hope so, right? But no, they just sat in the side, just sat inside jungle, like towards CD spawn. Absolutely no initiative taken whatsoever. And when they did try to go for some info plays, it was some very, very bad info plays. Everyone just going in one by one, individual plays. And Tyloo, credit where it's due, man. They were just playing this. It was almost like they were kind of like on autopilot. And Captain Mo, his tailbone might be broken, but that left finger of him was clicking, was clicking some heads.
Definitely working. You see, often the only player there for the likes of Tainted Minds getting over 10 kills, so a pretty poor showing overall for the entire squad. 2 rounds is definitely not what I think they would have been aiming for at all. But if you look at this whole matchup, Dan was saying as he closed out there that, you know, it felt like they just got away with their game plan. They was just, you know, getting to do whatever they felt was necessary, and as they were calling, everything was working. Yeah. And that's kind of the way it went. There was a couple of rounds where it got a little bit scrappy, but they were still able to turn those on their heads. And when you heard there from Ben 10 in the end, this is the map that they feel the most comfortable on, and they feel like they understand each other. And you know that because they play this map the most, right? So just for that moron on the internet who doesn't understand the context of that I was adding by saying if you were Tainted Minds and you were going to pick Mirage, you would need to have a really solid game plan. That would be the only reason that you should pick it. Obviously, they didn't have that in place, or if they did, it didn't go as they wanted, because this is the one map that Tyloo play against anybody, and they're not afraid to pick it, even against better opponents. Like
some of the best teams in the world have struggled against Tyloo on this map, right? And that's the thing, Tyloo, Tainted Minds, they might have done their homework. They might be like, let's try to catch up on, but we probably know what they do. Yeah. But when you don't play that map, I did touch upon this earlier, when you yourself don't play this map that often, you're not going to have the structure. You're not going to, even though you might win a couple of rounds based on some anti-strats, it's not sustainable. And look at Tyloo's T-side. There was not one round where they had to go for an eco, even a light bite. There was 16k throughout. So that kind of tells the story of this matchup.
Well, the actual story here, too, I think on the other side, is the fact that with this win, with this sort of like overbearing scoreline, maybe Tyloo is setting sort of a precedence going forward for the rest of this minor, saying, hey, you guys, you might not want to play us some Mirage, especially when our boy Mo is over here wheeling and dealing out the headshots, if you know what I'm saying. Let's take a look at the head-to-head between him and Inns, because that is our head-to-head comparison. And, of course, Mo definitely picking it up to where he was earlier.
They see him rolling.
They see him hating.
Yeah, but, you know, he's able to get it done even while being injured, and that's a fantastic sign, because in that first matchup where it was sloppy, where you could see that the cohesion wasn't on point on Inferno in the opening matchup of the day, Mo wasn't able to get too many kills on the board. They got the victory nonetheless. Bentet was the man doing the majority of the heavy lifting in that one, but him to bounce back on a map where he's more comfortable to show his pedigree, that's fantastic signs. But it is very worrying for that of Tainted Minds, right? So we did see them scrap that win together against Unique,
starts,
but now they have to play a best of 3 against either Unique or the likes of 5 Power, which will be going down next.
Which could, that could very well happen. Kind of like a fail on an info play, which I do believe, Blay, you have something prepared for us.
Yeah, the first thing would be, like we said, Tainted Minds were playing very too passively. They had no information whatsoever. And whenever they actually, here's what an info plays. An info plays on a CT side, it could be on a T side as well. On a CT side, you don't know what's really happening, and you've kind of are a man down, so you kind of push in to one extremity of the map to gather some information. So this is what happens. Tyloo, they get the first pick. Xcurate with that op of his, one of the best ops in Asia right now. He gets a first pick. Burn getting taken down. Now it's a 4v5, and you see this one play just walking into Palace, all alone, no flashes to like explode him in, just walking in, Captain Mo waiting patiently. He gets a frag there, 1 down, 3v5 right now, right? And what does the second player do? I don't think it's there, but the third player for Tainted Minds, I forgot who it was. I'm not sure it was Yam, one of these guys. He jumps from short all the way towards connector again to find some information. Yeah. There's another player waiting there, and by the end of it, it's like a 2v5. They've already lost a round. They're giving them free frags.
I think we were 7 rounds deep, or it could have been 8 rounds deep, and there was only one opening kill that went in the favor of Tainted Minds, and that was Yam with the USP on an eco round. So on the gun rounds that they did have, obviously within the 7-round period, you're getting reset. You don't have as many on the board. Even on those gun rounds, they weren't finding the opening kills. And that's a big problem on the CT side, because normally that's how you lock opponents out of bomb sites, by trading efficiently. Normally starts with the opening kill.
Well, you talk about info plays, and the reason those things are made are so that you can kind of understand some map control. Perhaps you can give a little, take a little on the other side of the map. And Blay, you want to take it from here?
Yeah, so map control, right? That's the problem for Tainted Minds. They had no map control. They had no idea what Tyloo were doing. So this is what Tyloo did. They played very, very passively, waiting with the defaults, maybe going for the opening pick, and then they would slowly work mid, right? Look at this. It's like, I think 45 seconds into the round. They have a guy boosted up towards jungle in the smoke, which is their own smoke. They walk up connector. Look at where the CTs are. One guy in jungle, one in CT, one playing firebox. They have no trade game going over here. And then when they strike, sure, often gets the first kill, but look at the trade coming in immediately from Bender towards jungle. And then this is methodical. They clear the angles, finds ins there. Nice side shot coming from Captain Mo. And then the op on top of stairs by Xcurate, just laying down the pain, gets 2 kills over there. The round's just done, and this is what I mean by map control. You see great map control from Tyloo. They have a very good understanding where the CTs might be, and then on the other hand, Tainted Minds, 0 map control.
See, the thing there in that situation, if they were going for those info plays earlier, that's how they garner that control, right? But they were getting punished for it. The option isn't to play stuck in bomb sites like that or to be in limbo positions. It's either to play full retake or to do something as a unit. We did see off the first gun round, they went to go for mid control, and they got a little bit unlucky on that round. It could have gone either way, but from there things just continued to spiral. And you want to make sure that you don't have someone under balcony when you can get smoked off at CT and jungle and no one can help you.
You don't want to be caught flat-footed, especially when the Hot Wheels of Mo are out. That's because he is steamrolling around the map, and it ain't no locomotive session. And actually, I can give props to Dick Stacy for that one. He actually hit me up just now just to say to call Mo Hot Wheels. So thank you, Dick Stacy, from down under. Now, let's take a look at the brackets, because we are getting deeper and deeper and deeper by the rounds here. 5-Power versus Unique Star is going to be our next matchup. That will, in turn, also be a BO3 elimination match. The winner will be moving on to play Tainted Minds. The loser will be packing it up, heading to the hotel room, and feeling sorry for themselves.
Probably getting some Nandos.
Probably getting some cheeky Nandos.
But the good thing is, Tyloo straight through to the playoffs. Unfortunately, or fortunately, it depends on which way you look at it, they will be going up against Renegades. And that's what Bentet said was seen as the hardest opponent. It makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, they've lost them like 2 times already, back-to-back, right? So I think it's the greatest rivalry in Asia, Oceanic Counter-Strike. Renegades and Tyloo. Love to see it. I think it's going to be fun. But that's tomorrow, though, against.
Yes.
Yeah, it should be tomorrow. Yeah.
It could be fun, unless Mo kicks it into another gear like he did there on Mirage. Now, with that said, perhaps I tell you to kick it over to the website and maybe sign yourself up for a giveaway. You know what? FACEITMajor.com/giveaway. That's the only way you're going to win here on this stream today. See this? You see this link? This link, Control-T, type it in, make it happen, and perhaps even put in the code when you go to sign up for premium on FACEIT using Miners20. It's a good way to get yourself a nice little, what would they say around here? A cheeky discount, I believe, is the way that one goes. Get yourself a little discount, too, when you go to subscribe to FACEIT Premium. Now, we're going to be going to a quick break. When we come back, it's going to be our first best of 3, an elimination best of 3, and it's going to be kicking off when we come back.
Let's get it on!